It's time to say fuck off to 2023 and hello to 2024. But before we tell 2023 to go fuck itself, we must first go through all of the great films that came out this year. Now, it was a pretty weak year for films. I would honestly say that 2022 was better overall, but through all of the dog shit of 2023 that we had to sit through,
Sorry.
Helena!
Dr. Jones.
there are still 10 great films released this year that deserve some recognition. With that being said, here are my top 10 favorite movies of 2023. But before we get into the list, here are some honorable mentions. John Wick Chapter 4, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Mission Impossible 7, Gran Turismo, and The Equalizer 3. Now that the honorable mention shit is out of the way, let's kick this list off with number 10, Air, the story of how Nike made it big in the 1980s, starring Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman, Chris Tucker, and Viola Davis. This was a brilliant film that showed how Nike was struggling with low shoe sales at the time and how one man wanted to bet it all on an NBA rookie prospect named Michael Jordan. Maybe you've heard of him before?
Well, no shit.
One man believed that signing Michael Jordan would give them great success, and so they set out to close the deal with him, and as all of you already know, they had great success. With this deal, they created a new shoe brand named after Jordan himself, Air Jordans, maybe you've heard of it,
No shit.
and the rest is history. This movie is very well made with some great performances, and it's also pretty damn funny. Moving on to number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Oh Marvel, so much dog shit you have given us over the last 3 fucking years, but through the large pile of dog shit that Marvel has shited onto our faces, there is still some gold to be found within this particular pile of dog shit. And that quote unquote gold that you found is the third and final Guardians of the Galaxy film. This was James Gunn's last dance at Marvel, and it's safe to say that he went out with a bang. Guardians 3 is such a fun watch, and it is equally as entertaining as the previous 2 Guardians films. It's action-packed, and it does a great job with balancing out humor with the extremely emotional moments. And that's saying a lot, because if you've seen this movie, then you know that the emotional scenes are as extreme as it gets. If there is any MCU movie from the 2020s decade that I would recommend besides Spider-Man No Way Home, it is without a doubt Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Number 8, Sisu. The classic one man kills a bunch of other men type of movie, where you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy some bloody ass violence. This movie is fucking awesome. During World War II, an ex-soldier from Finland finds some gold but runs into Nazis who try to steal it from him. And I'm sure you can guess how the rest of the film plays out. The Finnish madman kills each Nazi soldier one by one and does everything he can to secure his newly found fortune. This movie is simple and right to the point, and that's exactly what I love about it. It's the type of film that just makes you wish that there could be more movies like this. It's the type of easy watch that doesn't make you think too much and gives you exactly what you asked for. Number 7, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Holy shit, this movie was insane. The Spider-Verse films never fail to amaze me, and this one in particular took the franchise to a whole new level. The animation was trippy as fuck, as always, the fight scenes were fucking sick, as always, and the story was great, as always. The ending is very abrupt and super incomplete, but I can tell that the story is going in a pretty solid direction. Or, at least, I hope it is. It's not as good as the first Spider-Verse film, and no matter how great the third film in this trilogy will be, this trilogy will never be as great as the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy. But I can still appreciate the effort that goes into these films because holy shit, that hard work paid off. This sequel is pretty fucking awesome, and I can't wait for the third one, which probably won't come out until like 2025 or maybe even 2055. Who the fuck knows? Number 6. Dream Scenario. Who doesn't love Nicolas Cage going fucking crazy? I know I do. Dream Scenario is an interesting film that tells the story of a professor who seems to show up in a lot of people's dreams, including his students and many others. Like, they all literally see fucking Nick Cage in their dreams. It's actually hilarious. And everyone gets super freaked out by him because in these dreams, he does some harmful things to them, turning those dreams into nightmares. And he pretty much becomes the new Freddy Krueger. Nick Cage eventually starts to lose his mind because everyone hates him for things he didn't do. This movie is wild and kinda sad at the same time, but also very entertaining and super engaging. This also might be one of Nick Cage's best performances. I would highly recommend watching it if you haven't seen it yet. Moving on to the top 5 with none other than number 5, The Iron Claw. The story of the Von Erich brothers, who had a historic run in the world of competitive professional wrestling. A historic run that led to tragedy in their family. And when I say tragedy, I mean the most tragic family history you could ever think of. This movie is as depressing as it gets. It doesn't hold back at all. It shows everything that was sad about this family's history. These brothers had a strict father who pushed them to be the greatest in an extreme way, and he drove them to the point of insanity and in some cases, or I guess most cases, death. This is without a doubt the saddest movie I have seen in a while. However, it has amazing performances and a good ending despite how tragic it was. I loved how this movie doesn't pull any punches and tells you exactly how it is. It exceeded my expectations well enough for me to include it in the top 5, and I would definitely recommend it. I would just say to watch something funny after, like maybe a Family Guy episode or some shit like that, because this movie will leave a somber ass taste in your mouth. Number 4, Godzilla Minus One. Who would have thought that a Godzilla movie would be this good? I guess when the originator of Godzilla, aka Japan, throws their hat into the ring once again, all bets are off, because they still know how to make these types of movies. Unlike America with their corny-ass Godzilla X Kong movie coming out soon. But anyways, Godzilla Minus One shits on everything that America has done with Godzilla by a fucking mile. This is a Godzilla film with characters that you actually care about, and with a story and a plot that is actually meaningful, unlike most Godzilla films. A kamikaze pilot in a post-World War II Japan feels terrible because he never fulfilled his task, and he struggles to come to terms with the dishonor that he feels while also facing a giant nuclear-breathing lizard monster that came out of fucking nowhere. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds pretty fucking engaging to me. I loved everything about this movie. The visual effects, the sound design, the acting, and of course, the story and plot. It has great payoffs with a solid character arc for the protagonist, which, once again, does not exist in American Godzilla films. This movie was a breath of fresh air for Godzilla content, and if you haven't seen it yet, seriously, watch that shit right now. Moving on to the top 3 with number 3, Poor Things. Yorgos Lanthimos likes to make weird movies, and his latest weird-ass adventure is Poor Things, which is, as you would expect, super weird and pretty fucking crazy, but in a good way. This is one of Emma Stone's best performances, as she plays Bella Baxter, a young pregnant lady who commits suicide and is brought back to life by a mad scientist played by the brilliant Willem Dafoe, who takes out her brain and replaces it with the brain of her baby, causing the new version of herself to literally act like a fucking child. She still looks like her normal self though, but she acts like a fucking child. That is as weird as it gets, but once again, in a good way. This unique concept redefines original filmmaking and makes the film as great as it was intended to be. Being that Bella has the mind of a toddler, the film uses that to its advantage by showing how funny that situation would be. Like, Emma Stone is actually hilarious in this movie. Bella sets out to explore the world, and her mind grows as the film goes on. She learns new things, and she discovers how cool the world can be, as well as how cruel the world can be. This movie was wildly entertaining with a super interesting premise that is so amazing I just had to include it in the top 3. I highly recommend this movie. However, I wouldn't recommend watching it with your parents. There is a lot of sex in this movie, like it's damn near a porno. So if you do end up watching it with your parents, all I have to say is
Good luck.
number 2, Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan's best movie since Interstellar is without a doubt Oppenheimer. As you all know, this 3-hour epic depicts the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer as he develops a nuclear bomb that is dropped on 2 different cities in Japan, which of course contributes to the end of World War II. This movie is an emotional roller coaster that takes us into the mind of Mr. Oppenheimer, showing how horrible he felt about what he did and how it impacted his family and the people who worked with him on this lethal project. There is so much to love about this movie. The acting, the dialogue, the musical score, and of course, the amazing visuals. I don't know what else I can say about this movie that hasn't already been said. It's fucking awesome and really well made. It easily could have been the best movie of the year if it weren't for a certain other movie that was also released this year. What movie am I talking about? What film could possibly be better than Oppenheimer? Well, guys, I'm of course talking about another 3-hour epic, more of a 3.5-hour epic actually, and that movie is. Drumroll, please. Number 1, Killers of the Flower Moon. Martin Scorsese has delivered us another classic, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. The first time that all 3 have collaborated together on a movie. And holy shit, if there was any movie that lived up to the hype, it was this one. It may be 3 hours and 26 minutes, but the time goes by really fucking fast because it is just that fucking good. This movie is easily one of Leo's best performances, and the same can be said for Robert De Niro. And newcomer actress Lily Gladstone is also really great in this movie. For those who don't know, this film explores the mysterious murders of the Native American Osage tribe, as Robert De Niro and his men secretly go after their oil money. De Niro employs Leo to do his dirty work and secure a big fortune for him. This is easily the best movie of the year. I loved every minute of its 206-minute runtime. It's intense, it's sad, and at the same time, it's fucking amazing. The acting, the writing, the cinematography, the story, and the score all collectively contributed to making this movie as great as it was supposed to be. It gives me hope for the future of Hollywood, that through all the dogshit garbage that we get, there are still some movies that are worth my time. Movies that never fail to captivate me. And Killers of the Flower Moon is a prime example of that movie. Anyways, there it is, guys. My top 10 favorite movies of 2023. Let me know your top 10 favorite films in the comment section below, and as always, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe for more movie reviews.